Let Go of Anger and Find Lasting Calm, written and published by Rise with Wisdom. Welcome, and thank you for listening to Let Go of Anger and Find Lasting Calm. If you've ever struggled with frustration, irritation, or moments of uncontrolled anger, you're not alone. Anger is a natural emotion, but when it takes control of your life, it can damage relationships, cloud your judgment, and leave you feeling exhausted. This audiobook is designed to help you understand your anger, recognize your triggers, and develop strategies to stay calm in difficult situations. You'll learn practical techniques such as mindfulness, breathing exercises, and communication skills to help you manage your emotions effectively. The goal isn't to suppress anger. By the end of this journey, you'll be equipped with the tools to handle stress with confidence, communicate more peacefully, and create a life filled with greater balance and control. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Understanding Anger, the First Step to Control. Anger is a natural human emotion. It's a response to feeling threatened, hurt, frustrated, or powerless. In small doses, anger can be beneficial. It can drive you to take action, set boundaries, and stand up for yourself. But when anger becomes excessive or uncontrollable, it can negatively impact your mental and physical health, relationships, and overall well-being. Why do we get angry? Anger often arises when expectations aren't met, when we feel disrespected, or when we encounter injustice. It can also be triggered by stress, fatigue, or unresolved past experiences. Understanding the source of your anger is the first step to controlling it. There are three main types of anger. 1. Passive anger. This is anger that is suppressed rather than expressed. It might come out as sarcasm, silent treatment, or passive-aggressive behavior. 2. Aggressive anger. This is anger that is openly expressed, often in the form of yelling, criticism, or even physical aggression. 3. Assertive anger. This is the healthiest form of anger. It involves expressing frustration in a calm, clear, and respectful way. Recognizing which type of anger you experience most can help you become more aware of your emotional patterns. The cost of uncontrolled anger. Anger that isn't managed properly can cause a range of problems, including damaged relationships. Frequent outbursts or silent resentment can create distance between you and loved ones. Health issues. Chronic anger increases stress, raises blood pressure, and weakens the immune system. Regretful actions. Acting out of anger often leads to decisions you might later regret. Many people believe that anger is just a part of their personality, that they're simply short-tempered or hot-headed. But anger is not an unchangeable trait. With the right mindset and strategies, you can learn to manage and control it. Self-reflection. Recognizing your triggers. The next step is identifying your anger triggers. Ask yourself, when do I feel the most irritated or frustrated? Are there specific people, situations, or thoughts that spark my anger? How do I typically react when I'm angry? By bringing awareness to these patterns, you can start to catch anger before it spirals out of control. What's next? Now that you understand the nature of anger, the next step is learning how to stay calm in the moment. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to recognize anger as it rises and use techniques to diffuse it before it takes over. Let's continue. Chapter 2. Recognizing anger before it controls you. Anger doesn't usually appear out of nowhere. It builds up gradually, sometimes in ways we don't immediately recognize. By learning to identify the early signs of anger, you can regain control before it escalates into something destructive. The warning signs of anger. Anger manifests both physically and mentally. When you start to feel angry, your body and thoughts give you clues. Some common warning signs include physical symptoms: increased heart rate, tense muscles, clenched jaw, flushed face, or a tight feeling in your chest. Emotional signs: frustration, irritability, resentment, or a strong urge to react impulsively. Behavioral changes: raising your voice, pacing, abrupt movements, or becoming overly critical. By recognizing these signs early, you can take action before anger takes over. The thought patterns that fuel anger. Anger is often fueled by the way we interpret situations. Certain thought patterns can intensify our emotional reaction. Blaming. Believing that others are deliberately trying to annoy or harm you. Catastrophizing. Viewing minor inconveniences as major problems. Rigid thinking. Feeling like things should be a certain way and getting angry when they're not. Assumptions. Jumping to conclusions about people's intentions without clear evidence. If you often find yourself caught in these thought patterns, take a step back and challenge them. Ask yourself, is this situation really as bad as I think it is? Is there another way to interpret what's happening? Would I feel differently if I looked at this situation from someone else's perspective? The power of the pause. One of the most effective ways to prevent anger from taking control is to pause before reacting. When you feel anger rising, try these techniques. Take a deep breath. Inhale slowly for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and exhale for 4 seconds. Step away. If possible, remove yourself from the situation to gain perspective. Count to 10. This simple technique can prevent impulsive reactions. Use a calming phrase, saying something like, "I am in control," or I choose peace, can help ground you. Building awareness through journaling. Keeping a journal of your anger triggers and reactions can help you see patterns over time. Try writing down. What made you angry? How did you react? Could you have handled it differently? This practice helps you become more mindful of your emotions and identify areas where you can improve. What's next? Now that you can recognize anger and catch it before it spirals, the next step is learning practical techniques to manage and diffuse anger when it does arise. In the next chapter, we'll explore proven strategies to calm yourself down and respond in a constructive way. Let's continue. Chapter 3. Managing and diffusing anger effectively. Now that you understand how to recognize anger before it takes control, the next step is learning how to manage and diffuse it in a healthy way. Suppressing anger isn't the answer, but neither is letting it explode uncontrollably. The key is to channel it constructively. The myth of letting it all out. Some people believe that venting anger, through shouting, hitting objects, or aggressively expressing frustration, helps relieve it. However, research shows that this often reinforces aggressive behavior rather than calming you down. Instead of fueling the fire, it's better to learn ways to cool it down. Practical strategies to diffuse anger. 1. Change your physiology. Anger triggers a physiological response, a racing heart, tense muscles, and shallow breathing. To counteract this, you can take deep breaths. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4, and exhale for 4. This signals your nervous system to relax. Relax your muscles. Try progressive muscle relaxation, tightening and then releasing different muscle groups. Move your body. A short walk or light stretching can help dissipate the built-up energy of anger. 2. Reframe the situation. Your interpretation of an event largely determines your emotional response. Instead of seeing a situation as a personal attack or injustice, try asking, is this really worth my energy? Will this matter in a week or a month? Could there be another explanation for what happened? Reframing helps shift your mindset from emotional reactivity to rational problem solving. 3. Use assertive communication, not aggression. Many people either lash out or stay silent when they're angry. Neither approach is productive. Instead, practice assertive communication, which involves expressing your feelings calmly and clearly. Use I statements instead of blaming. Instead of, "You never listen," say, "I feel unheard when I don't get a chance to speak." Stick to the facts. Avoid exaggerations like, "You always do this," or "You never respect me." Keep your tone calm. The way you say something is just as important as what you say. 4. Take a time out when necessary. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is step away from the situation to cool off. This doesn't mean ignoring the problem, but rather giving yourself space to respond rationally instead of emotionally. Long-term anger management techniques. While the strategies above help in the moment, long-term habits can make you less prone to anger overall. Practice mindfulness and meditation. Being present in the moment helps you react with clarity instead of impulse. Exercise regularly. Physical activity reduces stress hormones and increases mood-stabilizing chemicals. Improve your sleep. Lack of sleep can make you more irritable and reactive. Find a healthy outlet. Writing, art, music, or talking to someone can help process emotions in a constructive way. Looking ahead. Managing anger isn't about never feeling it again. It's about responding to it with control and intention. In the next chapter, we'll dive into how to replace anger with a sense of inner peace and emotional balance. Let's continue. Chapter 4. Replacing anger with inner peace. Managing anger effectively is a crucial step. But to truly transform your emotional state, you must go beyond just controlling outbursts. The real goal is to cultivate a sense of inner peace that makes anger less frequent and less intense. This requires a shift in mindset, habits, and emotional patterns. Understanding the role of inner peace. Inner peace isn't about ignoring problems or pretending that difficult situations don't exist. It's about developing the ability to stay calm and composed, even in challenging circumstances. People who are naturally calm aren't that way because life never frustrates them. They've simply developed strong emotional tools that allow them to respond differently. If you struggle with anger, it may be because your mind is conditioned to react aggressively to stress, perceived disrespect, or frustration. But just as a person can train their body to be stronger, you can train your mind to stay composed. This isn't an overnight transformation, but with consistent effort, you can replace anger with a deep sense of balance and emotional control. How to cultivate inner peace. 1. Redefine your triggers. Most people get angry because they feel that something is unjust, disrespectful, or out of their control. But often, anger is based on interpretation rather than objective reality. Ask yourself, is my reaction justified, or am I assuming the worst? Is this worth disturbing my peace? Would I still be angry about this if I had a calmer state of mind? When you take a step back and question your reactions, you create space for a new perspective. Develop emotional awareness. You can't change what you don't understand. Many people only notice their anger once they've already exploded, but learning to recognize the early signs can help you prevent it from escalating. Pay attention to physical signs: tense muscles, a racing heart, clenched jaw, emotional signals: irritation, frustration, impatience, thought patterns. This isn't fair. They're disrespecting me. I always get treated this way. Once you notice these signs, pause. Instead of reacting automatically, remind yourself that you have the power to respond differently. 3. Choose calm responses. Anger often feels automatic, but it's actually a choice, one that you can replace with a more peaceful response. Here's how. Pause before speaking. A deep breath or a moment of silence can prevent unnecessary conflict. Use softer language instead of saying, "This is ridiculous." Try, "I see why this is frustrating, but let's find a solution." Respond with curiosity instead of judgment. Ask questions instead of making accusations. Instead of, "Why are you always so difficult?" Try, "Can you help me understand where you're coming from?" The more you practice choosing calm responses, the easier it becomes. 4. Engage in practices that promote peace. Replacing anger with inner peace isn't just about controlling reactions in the moment. It's about creating a lifestyle that makes calmness your default state. Some of the best practices for this include meditation and deep breathing. Training your mind to focus on the present moment reduces stress and makes it easier to stay calm. Gratitude and positive reflection. The more you focus on what's good in your life, the less space anger has to thrive. Spending time in nature, walking in a quiet park, sitting near water, or even just looking at the sky can bring a deep sense of calm. Limiting negative influences. Constant exposure to negativity from social media, news, or toxic people can make anger a habit. Be intentional about what you allow into your mind. Final thoughts. Anger is often a habit, a learned way of reacting to the world. But just as habits can be broken, they can also be replaced. The more you practice calm responses, the more natural they become. Over time, situations that once triggered, you will no longer have the same hold over your emotions. In the next chapter, we will focus on how to maintain long-term emotional balance, ensuring that anger doesn't creep back into your life after you've made progress. Chapter 5. Mastering emotional balance. Anger is not something you can eliminate entirely, nor should you try to. It is a natural emotion that, when managed properly, can be a useful signal. However, if left unchecked, anger can take control of your life, damaging relationships, clouding judgment, and preventing you from feeling true peace. The key to long-term emotional stability is learning how to balance your emotions rather than suppress them or allow them to control you. Recognizing emotional patterns. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with anger is that they operate on autopilot. When a situation triggers them, they react immediately, without taking a moment to process what is happening. This cycle reinforces the habit of anger, making it harder to break. The first step toward balance is recognizing these patterns. Pay close attention to when and why you get angry. Are there specific situations, people, or thoughts that consistently push you over the edge? Understanding your personal triggers allows you to address the root cause of your anger, rather than just the symptoms. Shifting your perspective. Much of what fuels anger is perception. If you believe that people are out to get you, that life is unfair, or that you are constantly being wronged, anger will always feel justified. However, if you shift your perspective, you will start to see things differently. Instead of assuming the worst in others, try to consider alternative explanations for their actions. Instead of viewing a frustrating situation as a personal attack, recognize that life is full of inconveniences and misunderstandings. A small shift in perspective can make a significant difference in how often and how intensely you feel anger. The power of emotional detachment. One of the most effective ways to maintain emotional balance is to practice detachment. This does not mean that you should stop caring or become indifferent. Rather, it means learning to separate your emotions from your reactions. When something upsets you, take a step back. Imagine that you are watching yourself from the outside. What would a calm and rational version of you do in this situation? By creating this mental space, you give yourself the opportunity to choose a better response instead of reacting impulsively. Developing emotional resilience. Emotional balance is not about avoiding difficult emotions. It is about learning how to handle them in a way that does not disrupt your inner peace. Developing resilience means accepting that life will not always go your way, but that you have the strength to handle whatever comes your way. To build resilience, stop dwelling on past events that made you angry. Holding on to them only strengthens negative emotions. Learn to let go of situations beyond your control. Focus on what you can change rather than wasting energy on what you cannot. Practice self-compassion. No one manages their emotions perfectly all the time. If you slip up, acknowledge it, learn from it, and move forward. The role of self-control. Anger often makes people feel out of control, but the truth is that control is always within reach. Every time you successfully manage your emotions, you strengthen your ability to handle difficult situations in the future. Self-control is like a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. Each time you resist an angry outburst, you reinforce a new, calmer way of responding. Over time, emotional balance will become your default state, making it easier to handle frustrations without allowing them to ruin your peace. Moving forward, mastering emotional balance is a lifelong process. There will always be moments that challenge your patience, but the more you practice, the easier it becomes to stay calm and composed. As you continue this journey, remember that true strength is not in suppressing emotions, but in understanding them and choosing how to respond. In the next chapter, we will explore how to handle conflict without allowing anger to take control, ensuring that your relationships remain strong and your mind stays at peace. Chapter 6. Handling conflict without anger. Conflict is an inevitable part of life, whether in personal relationships, at work, or in everyday situations. Disagreements will arise. However, conflict does not have to lead to anger. Learning how to navigate difficult conversations with a calm and rational mindset is essential for maintaining inner peace and healthy relationships. Understanding the true nature of conflict. Many people see conflict as a battle. One person wins and the other loses. This mindset fuels anger because it turns every disagreement into a competition. But in reality, most conflicts arise from misunderstandings, differences in perspective, or unmet needs, rather than outright opposition. When you shift your mindset from winning the argument to resolving the issue, you approach conflict with a problem-solving attitude instead of hostility. This small change can make a massive difference in how conflicts unfold. The importance of listening. One of the main reasons conflicts escalate is that people want to be heard but do not want to listen. They focus on preparing their response rather than understanding what the other person is saying. This fuels frustration and makes productive resolution almost impossible. Active listening is a powerful tool in handling conflict calmly. Instead of reacting immediately, take a moment to genuinely hear the other person's point of view. Ask yourself, what are they really upset about? What emotions are driving their words? What solution are they looking for? By focusing on understanding rather than reacting, you create an environment where both sides feel heard, reducing the emotional intensity of the situation. Responding instead of reacting. When someone challenges you, your instinct might be to respond defensively or aggressively. This reaction is driven by ego and emotion rather than logic. Instead of immediately reacting, practice the habit of pausing before responding. Take a breath. Ask yourself whether your response will escalate or de-escalate the situation. Choose your words carefully. A calm and measured response is far more powerful than an emotional outburst. Some simple techniques to control your response include lowering your voice instead of raising it, maintaining steady, relaxed body language, asking questions to clarify the other person's concerns rather than making assumptions, using I statements instead of you accusations, for example. I feel accusations, for example, concerned about this situation rather than you never listen to me, letting go of the need to be right. One of the biggest sources of conflict is the belief that being right is more important than maintaining peace. But ask yourself, would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? Letting go of the need to win every disagreement does not mean surrendering or allowing others to take advantage of you. It simply means recognizing that some conflicts are not worth your energy. If an argument is going in circles, it may be better to agree to disagree rather than force your viewpoint. Setting boundaries without anger. Some conflicts arise because people push your limits. It is important to set boundaries, but how you do so determines whether the situation leads to more conflict or peaceful resolution. Communicating boundaries does not require aggression. You can be firm without being hostile. For example, instead of snapping, "Stop interrupting me," say, "I'd appreciate it if I could finish my point before you respond." Instead of saying, "You always take advantage of me," say, "I need to make sure my time is respected, so I can't commit to this right now." Boundaries work best when they are communicated with clarity and calmness. The stronger your self-respect, the less anger you will feel when asserting them. Accepting that not every conflict needs a resolution. Not every argument needs to be settled immediately. Some conflicts take time to resolve, and others may never have a perfect solution. Learning to live with disagreements without letting them disturb your peace is an important skill. If you find yourself in a situation where resolution is impossible, ask yourself, is this conflict truly important in the grand scheme of my life? Will this argument still matter a year from now? Is this worth losing my peace over? Many conflicts lose their significance when viewed from a broader perspective. Learning to walk away from unnecessary battles is a sign of emotional maturity. Moving forward, conflict does not have to be a source of anger. By shifting your mindset, listening actively, responding thoughtfully, and setting boundaries calmly, you can navigate disagreements without losing your peace. Handling conflict with composure strengthens relationships, improves communication, and allows you to live with less stress. In the next chapter, we will explore powerful techniques to reset your emotions when anger starts to rise, giving you control over your inner state in any situation. Chapter 7. Mastering Emotional Resets. Regaining control in the heat of the moment. No matter how much you practice patience, there will be times when anger flares up unexpectedly. A harsh comment, a frustrating situation, or an unresolved issue can ignite emotions before you even realize what's happening. The key to staying calm isn't eliminating anger entirely, but learning how to reset your emotions before they take control of you. This chapter focuses on practical strategies to regain composure in the heat of the moment, ensuring that anger doesn't dictate your actions. Recognizing the physical signs of anger. Before anger fully takes over, your body often sends warning signals. Recognizing these signs early can help you catch yourself before reacting impulsively. Some common indicators include a racing heart or tense muscles, clenched jaw or fists, a rising feeling of heat in your chest or face, shallow or rapid breathing, a strong urge to lash out, raise your voice, or walk away abruptly. By paying attention to these signals, you can add attention to these signals. You can interrupt the cycle before it escalates. The power of breathing to reset your mind. One of the fastest ways to regain control is through intentional breathing. When anger builds, your body enters a heightened state of stress, and your breath becomes shallow. By consciously slowing your breathing, you signal to your brain that the situation is not a threat, helping to calm your nervous system. 1. Inhale deeply through your nose for 4 seconds. 2. Hold your breath for 4 seconds. 3. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 to 8 seconds. 4. Repeat this process a few times until you feel more in control. This method works because it forces your body to shift from a reactive state to a more composed and rational one, using a mental pause to delay reaction. One of the most effective ways to prevent anger from spiraling out of control is to introduce a delay between feeling anger and reacting to it. Instead of responding immediately, create a mental pause. Ask yourself, will this matter in an hour, a day, a year? Am I making assumptions, or do I have all the facts? What response will lead to the best possible outcome? Taking just a few seconds to reflect can mean the difference between an impulsive outburst and a composed response. Engaging in a quick physical reset. Sometimes, physical movement is needed to dissipate built-up anger. A short, intentional action can help shift your focus and break the emotional grip of frustration. Some effective physical resets include taking a short walk to change your environment, stretching or shaking out tension from your body, running cold water over your hands to refresh your senses, holding something firm like a stress ball to ground yourself. These small actions can redirect your energy and give your mind the space it needs to process emotions more rationally. Using self-talk to shift perspective. Your inner dialogue has a direct impact on your emotional state. When anger rises, the way you speak to yourself can either calm you down or intensify your frustration. Instead of feeding your anger with thoughts like, "This is so unfair," or "I can't stand this person," try reframing your self-talk. "I can handle this situation with calm and control. I am choosing not to let this ruin my peace. This moment will pass, and I won't let it define my day." Positive self-talk helps you regain perspective and prevents your emotions from taking over. Creating an anger reset ritual. Developing a personal reset ritual can be one of the most powerful tools for managing anger. A reset ritual is a quick, structured process that you use whenever frustration starts to build. It might involve a combination of stepping away from the situation for 5 minutes, taking 10 slow, deep breaths, repeating a calming affirmation to yourself, writing down your thoughts instead of acting on them. The goal of this ritual is to create a reliable system for calming down so you never feel helpless in the face of strong emotions. Moving forward with emotional control. Learning how to reset your emotions in the moment is a skill that requires practice, but the benefits are life-changing. By recognizing your anger early, using controlled breathing, pausing before reacting, and engaging in quick resets, you regain power over your emotions instead of letting them control you. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to replace anger with a mindset of patience and understanding, leading to long-term emotional resilience. Chapter 8. Replacing anger with patience and understanding. Once you have learned to master emotional resets, the next step is to shift your mindset. Instead of constantly battling anger, the goal is to gradually replace it with more peaceful emotions, such as patience and understanding. This process doesn't happen overnight, but by nurturing these qualities, you can create a more balanced and calm approach to life's challenges. The power of patience. Patience is often viewed as a virtue, but it's more than just waiting without complaint. It's about maintaining composure and mental clarity, even when things aren't going as expected. Practicing patience allows you to keep a level head in situations that would normally trigger anger. Here are some ways to cultivate patience. Reframe your expectations. Anger often arises when things don't go as planned. If you allow yourself to accept that life is unpredictable, you will naturally become more patient. Slow down. When you feel frustration building, consciously slow your pace. This simple act of slowing down helps ease the pressure and creates more room for thoughtful responses rather than knee-jerk reactions. Focus on the long-term view. When you're patient, you can step back and look at the bigger picture, rather than reacting impulsively to a single frustrating moment. Remind yourself that the situation will pass, and your ability to stay calm will pay off in the long run. Patience allows you to diffuse anger before it consumes you, and the more you practice, the more you'll find yourself reacting calmly instead of defensively. The role of understanding in reducing anger. Anger often stems from misunderstanding or lack of empathy. When you feel hurt or wronged by someone, it's easy to jump to conclusions, label people, or assume the worst. However, adopting a mindset of understanding can transform the way you view challenging situations. To replace anger with understanding, try the following. Seek to understand, not judge. Instead of immediately getting upset with someone, take a moment to consider their perspective. Ask yourself, what might they be going through? Or is there something I'm not seeing? Ask questions. When faced with a difficult situation, take the time to ask for clarification. Often, misunderstandings happen because assumptions are made too quickly. By asking open-ended questions, you invite dialogue and prevent escalation. Put yourself in others' shoes. Try to empathize with the other person's experience. When you realize that everyone has their struggles, frustrations, and challenges, you'll begin to feel less inclined to take things personally. The more you practice understanding, the less likely you are to react with anger, and the more likely you are to respond with compassion and patience. This approach not only prevents conflicts, but also helps you build stronger, more positive relationships. Mindfulness as a tool for patience and understanding. Mindfulness, the practice of being fully present in the moment, has a significant role in reducing anger and increasing patience. When you're mindful, you're less likely to be swept away by intense emotions. Instead, you can observe your feelings without becoming overwhelmed by them. To practice mindfulness in the face of frustration, focus on your breath. When you feel anger building, bring your attention to your breath. Notice the rhythm of your inhale and exhale. This simple act helps ground you and creates a mental space for reflection. Observe your thoughts. Instead of reacting to your angry thoughts, take a step back and simply observe them. Acknowledge that these thoughts are temporary and don't need to control your actions. Use the stop technique. When you feel anger rising, use the stop method. S. Stop what you're doing. T. Take a deep breath. O. Observe your thoughts and feelings. P. Proceed with patience and understanding. Mindfulness enables you to detach from the impulse to react angrily and gives you the space to respond thoughtfully instead. Shifting your focus to gratitude. Another powerful tool in overcoming anger is cultivating gratitude. When you're focused on what is going wrong, it's easy to get caught in a cycle of frustration. But when you intentionally focus on what is going well, you create a more positive, peaceful mindset. To build a gratitude practice, keep a gratitude journal. Every day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. These can be simple, like a warm cup of coffee in the morning or a kind word from a friend. Express gratitude to others. Take time to thank people in your life for their contributions, big or small. This reinforces positive relationships and prevents negativity from taking root. Focus on your strengths. Instead of dwelling on what frustrates you, remind yourself of the qualities and skills you possess that help you overcome challenges. Gratitude has a transformative power. It shifts your focus from anger to appreciation, bringing more peace and calm into your life. Creating a habit of calmness. Finally, replacing anger with patience and understanding is not a one-time effort. It's a habit that requires consistent practice. As with any habit, the more you cultivate these qualities, the easier it becomes to respond calmly in stressful situations. To create a habit of calmness, set daily intentions. Each day, set an intention to remain patient and understanding, regardless of the circumstances. This mental preparation will help you stay calm when challenges arise. Practice regularly. Consistency is key. Make time for mindfulness, gratitude, and empathy exercises daily, even in small doses. Reflect on progress. Take a moment each day to reflect on how you responded to challenges. Celebrate the moments you managed to stay calm and acknowledge areas where you can improve. As you make patience and understanding a daily practice, you'll find that anger loses its power over you. Instead of reacting defensively, you'll approach life with calmness, empathy, and a deeper sense of control. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to transform your responses to conflicts and frustrations into opportunities for growth and learning. Chapter 9. Transforming conflict into growth opportunities. In life, conflict is inevitable. Whether it arises in personal relationships, at work, or within yourself, the experience of conflict can feel overwhelming. It's easy to become frustrated, upset, or defensive when faced with disagreement or tension. However, it's important to understand that conflict, when approached with the right mindset, can become a powerful tool for personal growth. By shifting your perspective on conflict, you can move from seeing it as a negative force to recognizing it as an opportunity to learn, understand, and evolve. Understanding conflict as a part of life. One of the first steps in transforming conflict into a growth opportunity is to accept that conflict is a natural part of life. It's not something to avoid, but something to navigate. Conflicts arise when there are differences in opinions, needs, desires, or beliefs. They are not inherently harmful, but how you handle them determines whether they lead to destruction or personal development. Rather than fearing conflict, view it as a chance to grow. This shift in perspective allows you to approach situations more calmly, with the intention of finding solutions rather than fueling the flames of anger or resentment. Reframing conflict. Opportunity, not threat. When conflict arises, it's easy to feel threatened. The natural instinct is often to protect yourself, defend your position, and win the argument. However, reframing conflict as an opportunity for growth changes your approach entirely. Here's how to reframe conflict in a positive light. View it as a learning experience. Every disagreement offers a chance to learn more about yourself, others, and the situation at hand. By viewing conflict as a teaching moment, you open yourself up to new insights and solutions. See it as a chance to strengthen relationships. Navigating conflict with understanding and respect can actually deepen relationships. When handled with care, resolving disagreements can create stronger bonds and foster mutual respect. Identify the root cause. Often, conflict arises due to misunderstandings, unmet needs, or unspoken expectations. By delving deeper into the root cause of the conflict, you can identify ways to prevent similar issues in the future. How you respond during conflict is crucial. It's easy to allow your emotions to take over and escalate the situation, especially if you feel attacked or misunderstood. But by practicing emotional regulation and mindfulness, you can remain calm and composed, even in the heat of the moment. Here are some strategies to manage your reactions effectively. Pause before responding. When you feel anger rising during conflict, take a moment to breathe and collect your thoughts. A brief pause can prevent you from reacting impulsively and saying something you might regret. Avoid blame and judgment. Instead of accusing others or blaming the situation, focus on expressing your own feelings and needs. Use I statements such as "I feel frustrated when," or "I need more clarity around," to communicate your perspective without sounding confrontational. Listen actively. Active listening is an essential skill in managing conflict. Listen to understand, not to respond. Pay attention to the other person's words, tone, and body language. This helps you grasp their perspective and find common ground. Stay focused on the present. It's easy to get lost in past grievances or future worries during a conflict. Instead, stay focused on the current issue and work towards finding a resolution that benefits everyone involved. By managing your reactions, you can prevent escalation and create a space for constructive conversation, rather than allowing conflict to turn into a power struggle. Turning conflict into self-reflection. Conflict often reveals aspects of ourselves that we may not be aware of. When faced with disagreement or tension, take the opportunity to reflect on your own emotions, triggers, and behaviors. This self-awareness can help you grow and improve your ability to handle similar situations in the future. Here's how to turn conflict into self-reflection. Ask yourself why you're triggered. Pay attention to what specifically triggered your anger or frustration. Is it a particular behavior, comment, or expectation? Understanding the root of your emotional response can help you work through it more effectively. Examine your role in the conflict. Rather than blaming others, take responsibility for your part in the conflict. What could you have done differently? What can you learn from this experience? Identify patterns. If conflict is a recurring issue in certain areas of your life, take note of any patterns that emerge. Are there specific triggers or behaviors that keep causing tension? Identifying these patterns allows you to address them proactively in the future. By using conflict as a tool for self-reflection, you gain valuable insights into your emotional triggers and patterns, empowering you to navigate future challenges with greater awareness and control. Finding resolution and moving forward. Ultimately, the goal of conflict is resolution. Conflict, when handled with patience and understanding, doesn't have to end in bitterness or resentment. Instead, it can lead to mutual growth, strengthened relationships, and a deeper understanding of yourself and others. Here are some steps to move toward resolution. Seek common ground. Find areas of agreement and build on them. Look for win-win solutions that satisfy both parties' needs and concerns. Apologize when necessary. If you've said or done something that contributed to the conflict, a sincere apology can go a long way toward healing the situation. Let go of grudges. Holding on to resentment only prolongs the conflict. After resolving the issue, make a conscious effort to release any negative feelings and move forward with a clean slate. Learn from the experience. Each conflict presents an opportunity to learn and grow. Reflect on what worked, what didn't, and how you can apply these lessons in the future. By approaching conflict with a mindset of resolution and growth, you can turn even the most challenging situations into valuable opportunities for learning and improvement. Conclusion. Conflict is a natural part of life, but it doesn't have to lead to anger or frustration. By reframing conflict as an opportunity for personal growth, actively managing your reactions, and focusing on resolution, you can transform every disagreement into a valuable learning experience. With patience, understanding, and emotional awareness, you can navigate conflict with calmness, empathy, and wisdom, turning each challenge into a stepping stone toward a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Chapter 10. Maintaining long-term calm in a chaotic world. As we come to the final chapter of this journey, it's important to reflect on the key lessons we've covered and think about how to incorporate them into your daily life to maintain long-term calm and peace. While moments of anger or stress will inevitably arise, the goal is not to eliminate these feelings altogether, but to learn how to handle them effectively and ensure they do not disrupt your inner tranquility or peace. Life can feel chaotic and overwhelming at times, but with the right tools and mindset, it's possible to maintain a sense of calm, no matter the external circumstances. Building emotional resilience. One of the most powerful ways to maintain calm over the long term is by building emotional resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, challenges, and stress. By strengthening your emotional resilience, you develop the capacity to stay calm in even the most difficult of situations. Here are a few key strategies to help build your emotional resilience. Cultivate a positive mindset. A positive mindset is essential for navigating difficult times with calm and clarity. By focusing on the good, even in adversity, you can maintain a sense of hope and composure when things aren't going well. Practice mindfulness regularly. Mindfulness helps you stay grounded in the present moment, rather than getting caught up in past regrets or future worries. Regular mindfulness practice, such as meditation, yoga, or simply focusing on your breath, can build resilience over time. Resilience is about flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and being able to adapt to change, whether it's a setback, a challenge, or a new opportunity, helps you maintain calm and clarity. Take care of your physical health. A healthy body supports a calm mind. Regular exercise, proper sleep, and a balanced diet are crucial for managing stress and maintaining emotional well-being. By developing emotional resilience, you can handle life's challenges with greater ease and stay calm in situations where others might feel overwhelmed. The role of self-compassion in maintaining calm Self-compassion plays a crucial role in maintaining long-term calm. Being kind and gentle with yourself, especially when you make mistakes or experience setbacks, helps you avoid the negative cycle of self-criticism and judgment. When you treat yourself with compassion, you can handle difficult emotions like anger or frustration with greater ease and understanding. Here's how to practice self-compassion. Speak to yourself kindly. When you make a mistake or experience a failure, treat yourself with the same kindness you would show to a friend. Avoid harsh self-talk or judgment, and instead, remind yourself that it's okay to make mistakes. Embrace imperfection. Perfection is an unrealistic expectation. Accepting that you, like everyone else, are imperfect helps you let go of the pressure to be perfect and allows you to respond with calmness, even in challenging situations. Be patient with your progress. Change takes time. If you find that you're not immediately able to stay calm in every situation, be patient with yourself. Progress is a journey, not a destination. Self-compassion isn't about excusing negative behavior or avoiding responsibility. It's about recognizing your humanity and treating yourself with love and understanding as you navigate life's ups and downs. Staying calm in the face of stressful situations. Stress is inevitable, but how you respond to stress is within your control. The key to staying calm in stressful situations is developing effective coping mechanisms and strategies to manage your stress. Here are a few ways to stay calm under pressure. Break the situation into manageable steps. When faced with a stressful challenge, break it down into smaller, more manageable tasks. Focus on one step at a time, rather than becoming overwhelmed by the big picture. Use deep breathing techniques. Deep breathing helps activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for the body's relaxation response. Take a few deep breaths in through your nose, hold for a moment, and exhale slowly to calm your body and mind. Take breaks when needed. Sometimes, stepping away from a stressful situation for a few minutes can help reset your emotions and clear your mind. Take short breaks throughout the day to reduce stress and regain composure. Practice perspective taking. When you feel stressed, ask yourself if the situation will matter in a few hours, days, or weeks. Sometimes taking a step back and gaining perspective can help you see things in a calmer light. By incorporating these strategies into your daily routine, you'll be better equipped to handle stress and maintain calmness no matter what life throws your way, creating a calm environment. Your external environment has a profound impact on your internal state. A cluttered, chaotic environment can contribute to feelings of stress, anxiety, and frustration. On the other hand, a calm, organized, and peaceful environment can support your efforts to stay calm. Here's how to create an environment that fosters calm. Declutter your space. A tidy, organized space can help you feel more in control and at ease. Take time to declutter your home, workspace, and personal environment to create a sense of order and tranquility. Incorporate calming elements. Surround yourself with elements that promote calmness, such as plants, calming colors, soft lighting, and soothing sounds. These elements can help create a peaceful atmosphere that supports your mental well-being. Establish routines. Routines provide structure and predictability, which can help reduce stress and anxiety. Create daily routines for tasks like work, meals, exercise, and self-care to create a sense of stability in your life. By making your environment conducive to calm, you'll create the foundation for a more peaceful and relaxed mindset. Conclusion: embracing calmness for life. In this final chapter, we've explored how to maintain calm in the face of life's challenges, stressors, and conflicts. The key to long-term calm is not about avoiding difficulties, but about building resilience, practicing self-compassion, and developing strategies to cope with stress and adversity. By making these practices a regular part of your life, you can navigate even the most chaotic moments with a sense of tranquility and grace. Remember, staying calm is a skill that can be developed over time. With patience, persistence, and a positive mindset, you can cultivate a deep sense of inner peace that will serve you throughout your life. As you continue on your journey, keep in mind that the path to peace is a lifelong process. There will be moments of difficulty and moments of calm, but it's how you respond to each moment that truly defines your ability to stay grounded and peaceful. May you continue to embrace calmness knowing that you have the power within you to create the peaceful life you desire.